So I left the textbook for more books. I've been on a brain break for a month now, and it's been great. That being said, let's dibble and dabble into some stuff. What have I been reading? I've been reading the book of boundaries because I'm a very boundary orientated woman when it comes to all aspects of my life. And if you struggle with implementing boundaries in your life, this is a great book. It's not only about personal boundary, but it's about boundaries with in-laws, employers, friends, relationship, families. This is the book. Now, what I came here today is to talk about the Four Agreement. If you have not yet read this book, I highly encourage you to do so. The Four Agreement is a code of conduct and a principle that you implement in your life to initiate yourself in a coming of age or a solid foundation within yourself. The Four Agreement really talks about the domestication of humans, right? And when I think about the domestication of humans, there's 8 billion people on Earth. That's 8 billion people that have been domesticated and shaped and formed in so many ways. A lot of us have been domesticated through love, violence, abuse, and my favorite, self-resilient, right? And self-resilient is basically what the Four Agreement boils down to. And it basically states that we all go through domestication based on the dream world. In this world, this 3D world, we all have self-belief, limited belief, and self-abuse. And if you do not believe that you can abuse yourself, I highly suggest you to think again. And that's actually one of the main thing I love down here is that it speaks on how one can go through a traumatic experience, a setback, and we will abuse ourselves over and over and over again and hold on to that victimhood mentality. And in sense, that manifests into our reality, into the 3D world that we live in. But this book challenges you to rethink and reshape your self-belief and to redomesticate yourself based upon the Four Agreements. And the Four Agreements goes something as this. The first agreement is to be impeccable with your words. Speaking with integrity, only say what you mean and mean what you say. Avoiding using the words to speak against yourself and gossiping about others. When I read this, I was like, yes, I resonate with this because I am very impeccable with my words. I try to think before I speak. I'm very analytical when it comes to certain things. I will analyze things and play it over and over and over. But unfortunately, not everybody operate that way. So when you come in alignment with these agreement, when you practice it daily, it's a daily thing, it's a lifelong thing. When you practice it, you will see other around you do not operate as such. The second agreement, don't take anything personally. Nothing others do is because of you. What others say and do is a projection of their own reality and their own dream world. Now, this one you kind of have to take with a grain of salt because sometimes people do project and it can be personal depending upon the situation at hand, right? The third agreement, don't make assumptions. Find the courage to ask questions and to express what you really want. Communicate with others as clearly as you can to avoid misunderstanding, sadness, and drama. With just this one agreement, you can completely transform your life. This is also something that I implement in my life, especially communication. I'm a huge communicator, but what I've learned is that not everyone communicates on the level that I like to communicate because everybody live in their own dream world. However, when people interact with us, they're in our dream world and we have our own code of conduct when they want to interact with us and vice versa, right? And the fourth, always do your best. This is my favorite. Your best is going to change from moment to moment. It would be different when you are healthy as opposed to sick. Under any circumstances, simply do your best, and you will avoid self judgment, self abuse, and regret. This is my favorite one. Always do your best. And this is something I always tell my 8-year-old. Do your best, sweetheart. We all make mistakes, but we are all still learning and we can all make changes. Do your best. And I think this is especially important because our best sometimes is rolling out of bed. In the gym, when I work out, my best sometimes could be, hey, I got 30 minutes in me today, and that's all, right? Doing your best is driving to work and just going at the keyboard. Doing your best academically is doing that assignment and being okay with a B or a C. And I had to deal with that when I did my summer classes, AAAs, and at towards the end, I was just like, I'm good. I'm exhausted. This class it's tedious. I've been going to school for 11 months straight and I'm tired. So do your best. And I'm taking this especially into my forthcoming academic year. I will be wrapping up my fall semester, and then 2027, your girl's gonna be working her way towards graduation, doing my best. I think when I first started college, when I went back to college, my best was obsession with A's, right? Of course, because academic matter. Who else is going to give you $30,000 to $50,000 and say, "Hey, go invest in yourself"? When you go to college, that is the only time you get to really invest in yourself if you're not starting a business. That being said, doing your best is all you can really do in life, and putting your best foot forward and self-critical and being self-critical of yourself is something we all do. And in this book, when he talks about self-judgment, he goes into explain how we judge ourselves and we replay certain things over and how we coulda, shoulda, woulda, right? However, we are all just simple, domesticated beings trying to re-domesticate ourselves and make our truth and our purpose be in alignment in one and accord. So, that being said, let me know what book you are reading, and let me know if you read the Four Agreements, and if you haven't, I highly recommend you read this book. It's a little repetitive in some of the things he says. It's a fast read, really, but if you get down to the core of it and see what he's really trying to get at, it will hit you. And the last part in here is prayers, which I could not agree with more. And when I think of prayer, I think of me being spiritually in alignment with who I am, what I want to be, where I came from, and where I am going, right? When you pray, it's self-belief, right? It's self-belief in yourself. It's manifesting and speaking highly upon yourself in the situation at hand. Now, sometimes prayers is not a genie in the bottle, because the scripture says faith without work is dead. So, that being said, I challenge you to use prayer in your daily life. Pray every day. Pray upon the words you speak to yourself, your children, your spouse. Especially for me, when I pray, I always pray that God gives me the tools, the resource, the knowledge to be equipped to be a great parent, to be a great partner, to be a great friend. And sometimes that's given 70%. Sometimes that's 80 to 100%. But pray, 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 pray. That is all I got to say. I hope you guys are doing great and have a great week. And pray and check out the Four Agreement. Bliss with Gia out.